guys, welcome! In this video, we'll dive into Kafra's full support build for PvP. With the right build, Kafra excels at providing superb healing and valuable buffs to teammates within her rotating stage. Her full support build focuses on a tanky build with a mix of cooldown gears, allowing Kafra to survive team fights while providing constant support to her allies. If you missed our previous discussion regarding Kafra's skill mechanics and a breakdown of her pros and cons, you can find the video link below. This time we'll cover everything you need to know, from stats, runes, gears, cards, upgrades, and battle setup, so you can fully optimize Kafra's role as a support powerhouse in both PvP and GVG. Alright, without further ado, let's begin. First, for attribute point distribution, try to find a good balance between Vit and Strength. All three attributes contribute to improving the healing effect of rotating stage. At the same time, Vit increases your max HP, HP regen, and physical def, giving you better overall survivability. Int boosts your max SP, SP regen, and MDef. It also increases the raw magic attack you can share with your teammates within this stage. And Strength boosts the raw physical attack you can give to your teammates within this stage. Depending on the current meta, you might also want to invest a few points on luck. Having higher luck improves your resistance to the critical attacks of the Nameless, Fenrir, and other crit-based auto-attack builds. Other stats that are significant for a tanky cooldown build are as follows. There are only few sources of cooldown reduction stats, so having a Lumoshin, Saint, or Performer in the party is essential to achieve 60% cooldown reduction. Currently, the most popular classes in PvP are Lilia, which deals ranged physical skill damage, Morok, which deals dark element skill magic damage and HP loss damage, and the Nameless, which deals critical AA physical damage. Given these threats, you need to invest in the following defensive stats. It's of lower priority to boost healing bonuses, since her healing can be converted into damage when afflicted with Cure Barrier and Dead Soul Card's Bleeding debuff. Up next, let's take a look at Kafra's runes. Maxing out the core passive skill to level 7 should be your topmost priority so that Kafra package will appear within the stage. Picking up the package is vital for enhancing Kafra's team-wide support capabilities. As for the first-line effects, here's the recommended order of priority if you're aiming to achieve a high first-line value. First is the Star Rune for overloaded support to increase your resistance to abnormal and forced statuses by up to 50% when the stage is active. Second is the S Rune for Take a Small Taste to reduce its cooldown by up to 20%. Third is the Star Rune for Professional Alignment to increase the physical pen and M-pen granted to your team's main damage dealer. Fourth is the S Rune for Whoosh Kafra Takes Action to increase the max HP and SP granted to your team's frontliner. And the last priority is the Star Rune for Rotating Stage to increase its healing effect by up to 50%. As for attribute runes, you may use the following attack, buff, and def runes. And for the arcane runes, I recommend getting the Indestructible rune for enhancing your tankiness when your HP is below 50%, Galaxy rune for a chance to retain self-buffs when enemies try to dispel them, and Thorn rune to inflict a bit of damage to enemies attacking you. Up next is dive into the recommended equipment set and cards. First, for a weapon, Kafra's signature weapon Thunder Meteor Hammer is best for improving healing and survivability. It gives a huge boost in magic attack, max HP, and healing bonus. Additionally, its Tier 5 upgrade boosts your final damage reduction by 30% if not moving. Aim for Tenacity 4th Enchant and reset the third attribute to a high freeze or petrify resist. As for weapon cards, you can use an Alien Albaran card, Sniper Divine MVP card, or Spacer Star card. For offhand, use Sins of the Living and Arcane Codex for reducing skill cooldown. However, if survivability is still an issue, then it's better to reduce damage taken using Historical Witness and Helion Bracelet. Aim for Tenacity 4th Enchant and reset the third attribute to high physical damage reduct. As for offhand cards, the current best in slot is a Dead Strauf Star card as it boosts elemental damage reduct by 20% and prevents nearby enemies from attacking. For armor, I recommend using Ancient Sacred Deed for a huge boost in demi-human damage reduction. Other option is Tide Rider's armor for reducing wind, earth, water, fire, and neutral damage taken and to increase resistance to freeze and stun. As for Phantom equipment, my top picks are either Comet Warfare armor against wind, earth, water, and fire element attacks, or God's Blessings against neutral, poison, holy, dark, and ghost element attacks. For armor enchantment, aim for high freeze, petrify, and silence resist, physical damage reduct, or max HP %. As for armor card, or Myopic card is a good all-around budget option for most situations, but you should also prepare other cards for switching depending on the enemy lineup, such as Priest Magalata MVP card against physical DPS or the Deviling Star card against magic DPS. Angeling Star card is not recommended if there is a Morak in the enemy lineup. For Garment, the best pair is the Bespoke Coat in the main equipment slot and Merlin's Time Space Robe in the Phantom equipment slot. These garments significantly reduce the damage taken from Elenia and other ranged physical DPS. Aim for Divine Blessing 4th Enchant and reset the 3rd attribute to a high freeze or petrify resist. As for Garment card, use a Dark Assassin Cross Aramis MVP card for reducing all elemental damage taken and a chance to restore HP and SP. For footgear, I recommend equipping a Super Mecha War Boots in the main equipment slot and a synth version of Bunny Slippers in the Phantom equipment slot. This is due to its set effect with Arcane Codex, which reduces skill cooldown by 5%. Here are the materials used to craft Arcane Treads and upgrade to Tier 5. However, if survivability is still an issue, then it's better to reduce damage taken using Green Rattan Boots. Aim for Divine Blessing 4th Enchant and reset the 3rd attribute to a high freeze or petrify resist. As for footgear card, I prefer using an Edgar Star card to prevent getting flinched. For accessories, the only options are Resuscitation Ring and Mateus Necklace with a high physical damage reduct random attribute. Aim for Tenacity 4th Enchant and reset the 3rd attribute to a high physical damage reduction stat. As for accessory cards, the best in slot in the current meta are Alien Biochemistry Baphomet card to reduce the final damage taken and Acolyte Elander card to be able to cast Light Shield against Elenia's Mercury Concerto. For headwear, here are my top picks for each slot. For head, use a Moonlight Bunny to protect all equipment from being destroyed and prevent headwear removal. Aim for Armor 4th Enchant and reset the 3rd attribute to high physical damage reduct stat. As for headwear cards, Alien Fallen Angeling card is the best in slot as it grants immunity to all abnormal statuses as long as your HP is above 80%. For face, a plus 15 energy tracking would be my top pick as it reduces damage received from players by 35%. Aim for a high int and crit rest enchant. For mouth, use a high refined Anger Snarl or Quotient Dream. Aim for Armor 4th Enchant and reset the 3rd attribute to high physical damage reduct stat. For back, the best in slot is a plus 15 Fallen Valkyrie Swings as it doesn't only reduce your cooldown but also lowers the damage you receive in PVP and GVG. Aim for Blasphemy 4th Enchant and reset the 3rd attribute to high max HP% stat. And lastly for tail, use either a high refined Amethyst creature or a plus 6 emotional cleaner for boosting skill damage reduct. Aim for Blasphemy 4th Enchant and reset the 3rd attribute to high max HP% stat. Take note that you may also use GVG rental gears, god artifacts, and 6v6 team competition headwear for specific situations. Up next, here are the other upgrades that you can invest in to further improve your survivability in battle. For Acer Monument, activating all the nodes will grant the following stats. Notably, you'll get 15% healing bonus, 13% demi-human damage reduction, 15% physical damage and magic damage reduction, 15% max HP, and 10% physical def and MDef. For guild buffs, aside from increasing physical attack and magic attack, max out all defensive blessings and prayers such as max HP, physical and magic reduction, and physical and magic pierce rest, elemental reduction, and elemental pierce rest. For Oracle Mirror Extract, the options for attack attributes are Hall grants Refined Hammer for a chance to destroy the enemy's armor or Clutch's Staff for boosting heals. While for defense attributes, you may extract any of the following depending on the stat you're lacking. For Ancient Relics, there are several possible options to just choose depending on the meta. Divine Hymn Carver to prevent your armor element from being converted, Horn of the Unyielding to protect against burst damage, or Year Necklace to reduce the chances of getting stripped. For Equipment Memory, here's a summary of the attributes that you should prioritize for each memory. And when it comes to skill inheritance, these are the ones most suitable for support utility Kafra. Just choose depending on the amount of energy slots you have unlocked. Finally, let's take a look at some tips on how to effectively use a support utility Kafra in PvP. First, place the following skills in the manual and auto skill bars. It's generally better to cast Kafra's buffs manually so you can select the right teammate to receive them. If you place them in auto, the buff will automatically be cast on the nearest teammate instead. For the skill rotation, start by buffing your primary damage dealer with Take a Small Taste to mark them as Black Card VIP, increasing the buff effects they receive. Next, cast Professional Alignment to boost both your and your chosen teammates' elemental damage, physical pen, and M-Pen. If your teammate prefers not to have their attack attribute changed, simply toggle the setting off in the skill inheritance. It is recommended to select Holy Element to help increase your healing output. Afterwards, cast Whoosh Kafra takes action on your frontline tank and other supports to help with sustain. Then turn on your rotating stage. At regular intervals, make sure to pick up the Kafra package as it doubles the raw physical attack and magic attack you give to your teammates within the stage. It also causes your next buff skill you cast applied to all teammates within the stage. Alternatively, you can remain stationary to boost your own final damage reduction by 30%, which comes from the tier 5 effect of Thunder Meteor Hammer. As a team clash begins, activate Overloaded Support. This keeps you alive longer, increasing your team's movement speed and boosts your resistance to abnormal and force statuses by 50%. Always ensure you have a warehouse nearby using storage service so that any teammate who needs protection can hide in a warehouse, or any teammate that dies within the stage will be resurrected. Once Overloaded Support goes on cooldown, you have to play more carefully. Save it for emergencies or when you're caught in a sticky situation. Finally, if enemies are targeting you, cast Delivery Exception to immobilize and prevent them from attacking, then use Teleport Service to escape. And there you have it, that wraps up my complete guide to building a full support Kafra for PvP. Do you think Kafra will enter the PvP meta? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Note that the actual content may vary from what's presented in this video. Alright, that's it for this video guys. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed watching this guide. If you're new here, I would love you to consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button down below. I would love to have you back. Thank you for watching and see you in our next episode.